We're with Habiba Al Marashi, the president of Arabia CSR Network and the co-founder and chairperson of the Emirates Environmental Group. Hello, Habiba.
Hello, Momo. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for joining us. This is a very unique, I think, occasion that we're bringing the new agreements into reality. It's obviously people to people. So we're really honored that you're with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. And I'm looking forward to this session.
Excellent. So why don't we start? You've been in the field for at least 15 years now, I think, or even more. Why don't we start with the Arabia CSR Network a bit, what's the organization? What are you doing? I think that would be a good start.
Thank you very much. So Arabia CSR Network is a multi-stakeholder platform that was born out of Emirates Environmental Group in the year 2004. It caters to different players, whether these are entities from the private sector, the government organizations, and we look at corporate social responsibility and sustainability issues to be more accurate. And we started, of course, dealing with environmental issues from the Emirates Environmental Group, and that is an organization that is counted as mother of NGOs in the country, which started in 1991 when environment was not the topic of the day or the fashion at that time. But working with the private sector for more than 1 decade really gave us the experience and the strengths and the expertise to institutionalize that relationship and bring it to a stronger platform and in a more systematic manner. And that is how Arabia CSR Network was rolled out. And we did a survey, to understand what is CSR and how do organizations understand CSR and where is it placed in the operations of the organization. Is it a marketing? Is it a strategy? Is it a PR? Is it an HR issue? That survey helped us a lot to understand the market scenario, and accordingly we started developing the programs. And I can assure you, capacity building was one of the most important areas that we took on. And we started conducting different types of trainings, workshop sessions, panel discussions, one-to-one meeting with entities. And it was an incredible result that after 3 years of continuous work on that field, entities started saying, okay, we understand now, where do we start? How do we incorporate it? And how does it become part and parcel of really what we are doing and of our daily operations, of our DNA, if you would like? That encouraged us to come up with structured, accredited training programs that we continue developing, evolving it, streamlining it the whole time, but rolling it out for entities to help build their capacity. We have been very impactful in changing the scenario on the ground, on the national level, as well as on the regional level. And I believe one of the strongest platforms that we did was roll out the Arabia CSR Awards in 2008. It's not like any other award that, entities take the trophy at the end of the day and they put it on a shelf. It's a continuous journey, that we take organizations. It's a very thorough application. It's not easy application. And we have looked at the global scene and we found out what are the rating system, criteria, standards that are out there, and we brought them together, worked on them for 2 years actually to develop the requirements of the Arabia CSR Award. So we looked at the European Model of Excellence, EFQM. We looked at the UN Global Compact 10 Principles. We looked at the model of the Global Reporting Initiative and brought all these up together and developed accordingly the questionnaire or the journey of Arabia CSR Awards. This year actually, we celebrated 13 years of the accomplishment of this award, and mashallah, more than 1,300 entities have already applied. from different Arab countries. And we started with small, specific, general categories. Today, we have 13 categories covering sector specifics, like energy is one of the sectors that is covered. The motor industry is covered, the built industry is covered, the hospitality sector, healthcare sector. So we started going into the sector specific, particularly those areas or those platforms that have got a huge impact on the economic side, on the environmental side, as well as on the social side. And then we have, of course, a forum that is very strong as well. The forum is an international platform. We attract speakers from all over the world that we tackle pertinent sustainability issues, environmental issues, social issues, economic issues, and we bring it on the table and discussions. It's a very strong and beautiful and intellectual platform. So this is, in summary, Arabia CSR Network and its areas of focus.
And it's definitely, I mean, it sounds very impressive and very thorough and quite also impressive, the growth that you've been describing. If we want to, could you share some of the characteristics of the CSR work in the Emirates, leading companies, main areas of focus, things that we could get sort of familiarized with the work there?
Indeed, of course. So when we look at the work we do, we are not looking at just the social responsibility. We are looking at the responsibility of organizations towards the society, which these responsibilities means economic responsibility, environmental responsibility, as well as social responsibility. And when you look at what is the characteristics, it will not be much different than what is happening around the world, for example, but there will be a lot of focus on the environmental aspect and on the social aspect. And of course, we pull on from the traditions of our ancestors, of our country, of our culture, to bring that nature, that philosophy of giving, of community support, social support, community development, if you would like to call it. The volunteering spirit, the theme is there. What I like, and I'm happy that I am seeing it evolving over the years, is the impact. Entities are now not only looking at philanthropic, which is a big part of the nature of CSR in our region, but they are looking at longer term partnership with organizations. They are looking at more strategic sort of philanthropy. So they are looking at what is the impact of the investment. And really, they are looking at it as investment, not just as charitable action or a donation, and they forget about it. No, this is how it is encompassing itself, and it is having that wider type of impact that is interesting organizations. And of course, being a global hub, in economy and in tourism and other areas. So you will find that entities are very keen on ensuring that we play the game correctly, that we abide by the rules and laws and legislations. And there is a good level of loyalty, of alignment with the organizational strategy, with the national strategies as well, to ensure that it is aligned well and that we are all working together as one, as a community, to ensure that the deliverables are long-term and are sustainable. I hope that answers your question more.
Absolutely, and it's very much similar, I think, to what we've been going through. Again, starting with philanthropy some 22 years ago, and as gradually the field has developed, looking much more into longer terms, environment is obviously a major topic. I think that there may be a difference is that traditionally, I think the social aspects, we're speaking about inclusive growth in recent years, might be more, let's say, passionate in terms of the work here in Israel. But we see a similar, I think, way forward. Can you share, this is always a tricky question, but Could you maybe give an example of some leading or, let's say, interesting companies? We don't, obviously, we hope that all companies are leading. So maybe some, inspiring case studies that you feel that you could share.
Actually, we do develop best practices case study publication every year. And this is built on the entities that have applied and the winning entities. And they are from diverse sectors. And you will find some of them national organizations, some of them regional organizations. Of course, this is open to any entity that is operating in the Arab world, regardless of whether these are multinationals or regional entities or national entities. The beautiful thing is that through this platform of award, it has opened the doors for us to see and to stand on really what is the CSR culture in the region, and to understand the way entities operate. And we have a wealth of beautiful archive of these best practices that we are happy to share. Some of them are government entities, some of them are private sector, multinationals, as I mentioned. There are so many of them, mashallah, that sometimes it doesn't, whether it's, oil and gas companies, but you will find the focus is not only on building the well-being of the organizations. The welfare of employees takes a big center stage in there. And I think it was very clear through the applications that these entities apply not only 1 year, they keep on repeating their applications because they want to stand to be always at the top of their games. And I'm very honored to share that Dubai Electricity and Water Authority is one of the outstanding entities that we have seen their performance in all aspects. Of course, the social aspect, the economic aspect, and the environmental aspects, as well as their global impact with different projects that they have around the world. You will find some beautiful examples coming up from different countries of the Arab region, even from Sudan. We have had beautiful entities applying. From Palestine, we have had wonderful entities applying and winning from all the GCC countries, from North Africa. One of the wonderful examples that I would like to share is the BMCE Bank, North Africa. It's a shining example. This is not only a leading bank in Africa, but this, you can count it as one of the leading entities on the global level, from implementing the international requirements and regulations and standards and rating systems, to coming down to the level of building capacity, raising awareness, looking at issues of green funding, green bonds, investing in renewable energy, which is an important area. So even when they are making economic decisions, their economic decisions are always targeted and geared towards sustainability issues. We have many petrochemical companies from Bahrain, from Kuwait, from Saudi Arabia that are shining examples. Not forgetting of their own the roots, the culture, the importance of the well-being of not only the employees but the societies that they have operations. For example, one of the companies that is an excellent example is Maala in Saudi Arabia. This is a company that wanted, to build the capacity of the local youth, particularly in their mining areas, with all the technical capacity required so that they can employ them in the mining industry. And not having them ready, available at hand, they went to lengthy processes of establishing the facilities, the faculty, networking, and partnering with international bodies that can help them build this capacity, working with local bodies as well, government entities. So that multi-level of partnership as well is very effective, and the graduates then are guaranteed jobs. So this is not only fulfilling the requirement of the company with the technical expertise, but really finding good job opportunities for the local youth. And this has long-term prosperous implications for the local communities. We have seen that in Oman in many examples as well, whether these are in in the gas industry or in the oil industry or in the hospitality industry. The hospitality sector in the UAE is a shining example of what sustainable hotel should be. Because the nature of the hospitality sector is very, very competitive, and the number of hotels that we have in this country per square kilometer, it's a high density compared on the global level. So the hotels have excelled in being very, very exceptional in the services, in the standards that they apply. They are very keen on complying, not only on the national level, but as well as fulfilling global requirements, because their clientele are international tourists as well. So from energy conservation, water conservation, consumption of resources, from the service sector, from being very actively involved on the local community, being involved in waste, the actions that come out of the hospitality sector, the knowledge that is there within the workforce within the hospitality sector is very commendable. Working closely with the relevant government entities, for example, Dubai Tourism and other tourism authorities all over the UAE, to ensure that they are fulfilling the national requirements. Waste management is dealt with very well, segregation of waste, turning waste to energy. Many hotels have installed many of the tools that are required, whether these are software that they have incorporated to ensure what goes on, how is it cooked in the kitchen, what moves fast, how much do they need to buy. So it's a very, very smart commercial step that they have taken, which has had a very strong environmental and social impact as well. So we find as well many hotels applying. One of the categories that we have is the partnership and collaboration. Usually it enjoys the highest number of applications every year. And the uniqueness of the projects that come out of this platform is very inspiring. You will find multinational organizations partnering with local body, partnering with NGOs. Government bodies are there in different format. So it brings that diversity of those players and the sincere really intention of serving that particular cause that really makes it so unique and gives the impact that you would like to see.
This is indeed is a very kind of a thorough description that I think gives us a window into the industry, into the challenges, into the unique characteristics of your work, and it's indeed very inspiring. As we sum up, obviously, we can't have any discussion nowadays without mentioning COVID. So did it have any impact on the sustainability CSR work? Has it sort of boosted? Has it slowed down? It's a question that we repeat, I think, to anyone and everyone.
Of course, I would like to begin here by saying that I am very privileged to be in the UAE, and I'm proud of my leadership and the way they tackled the issue of COVID-19 and the clear instructions, the regulations, the lockdown, the safety of people was the priority. Ensuring that people had everything they want, it was beautiful, and we were looking at around the world, see examples, and we were looking at what is happening here, and everybody, you can stop anyone in the street and ask him, regardless of his nationality or gender or status in life, they will all be telling you the same thing, that we are very proud and very happy that we are in the UAE, the way it was tackled. Having said all that, of course, COVID took everybody by surprise. And businesses were impacted by it. Forget about on the social level, on the individual level, family level. Economies were impacted, and there was a slowdown of economy. Really, not only because of COVID. COVID just came and highlighted it. It had already started around the world, 2 years ago, and this just exacerbated it. So what has happened is that it brought it to the forefront, and companies jumped on to how to deal with it, how to be sure that their workforce are safe, how do they adapt to the new normal. And because of the smoothness and availability of the networks, the reliability of the networks, the telecommunication companies that we have on board, the way they rallied. So the whole UAE worked as one community, and abiding by the laws and regulations. We didn't have any problem. Everybody was very happy to follow instructions to ensure that we stay safe. The healthcare sector, how they stood up to that responsibility, how they came to the forefront, how they dealt with working 24/7, the sheer number of volunteers that came forward from different nationalities that we have, to want to contribute in whichever way. The special needs sector, the importance of these people of determination, and the focus on ensuring that they are well taken care of. It was really very heartening to see that, and it showed how the social fabric is so closely knit and is so strong. And we are seeing, of course, as a non-government organization, we see the impact directly on us. Companies are looking at more priority issues, so you will find sustainability issues and CSR issues taking a back seat. Some entities did not renew the membership, for example. Some asked for extension. Programs were shelved here and there. But really, I am so grateful with all the entities that we have on board. We at Emirates Green Building Council, Emirates Environmental Group, Arabia CSR Network, we managed to very professionally conduct our programs. Hardly nothing was cancelled at all. Things were postponed, but we are managing to do them now. We moved effortlessly to the internet line and to the virtual platforms. We conducted our workshops, we conducted our congresses, we conducted our conferences. All were done virtually, and the adaptation was so physical. Even with the Arabia CSR Awards, we carried it as a hybrid event. So people who are in the UAE attended the event physically, of course, taking into consideration all the guidelines, the restrictions, the instructions that we had to follow. The hotels helping us and supporting us to ensure that everything is fulfilled. The relevant government bodies standing with us and ensuring that we delivered on what we promised. And those who are out of the country, they joined us virtually. So we conducted a beautiful, seamless hybrid events, and we were very proud of our achievements. We conducted another event of Emirates Green Building Council on the same platform, and it was very successful. We conducted a pan-Arab competition between university students. It was a hybrid event for UAE students. We had them physically attending, and for those out of the UAE, they were all joining us on the virtual platforms. So Alhamdulillah, with God's grace, support of everybody, we carried our programs unabated.
That's very, very good to know. And I think as we've did quite a, I would say, a wide round of conversations with leaders from Israel and around the world, we've heard again and again that CSR and sustainability not only have not gained, I would say, the edge, but actually increased in terms of I would say, importance and urgency. So it's very good to see that we are all aligned as a global community.
There were actually even opportunities, Momo. There were even opportunities for some because they started introducing new things into their businesses. Producing sanitization masks, small businesses, startups started thriving. So there are a lot of opportunities that needs to be looked. Entities started giving, supporting where they are needed, where these are vegetables, fruits, other food requirements. Businesses stood up and rallied with the government to ensure that things move smoothly.
Absolutely. As one CEO that we interview has said, it was a struggle. Each day was a struggle, but all in all, it has sort of brought something new. It has brought, I would say, higher level of resilience and maybe new opportunities now and for the future. Habiba, that has been fascinating. I really hope that we could maintain the dialogue and exchange. And thank you very much for being with us here today.
Thank you, Momo, and inshallah we will be.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.